Hello, everyone. We are live on YouTube. It's Saturday night's main event, The Return on NBC. We're live here on the Fake Media Network YouTube channel for your viewing and listening pleasure to get you through your Saturday night heading into your early Sunday morning. I'm Keila Cash, and by my side, as always, is my co-captain, my right hand, the sometimes advocate for the rapidly improving Miss Jada Parker from NXT. I bring to you live on YouTube on this lovely Saturday night, which is a rarity in this day and age, to bring to you back on the wrap. Not salty, not even somewhat angry, not even, you know, melancholy Scott. This is Perky Scott Young back in the building. Welcome back, Perky.
Thank you for having me, Keila. As always, it's a pleasure to chop it up and talk all things WWE. I'm excited about the conversation. I thought the show was really good. Finishes left a little bit to be desired, but as far as the show, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let the kids stay up because they wanted to see Cody, and it's a good family night. So yeah, I enjoyed it all.
I enjoyed the show too. It was an easy breezy 2-hour watch on NBC. Love the nostalgia of it all. And I did hear that narrative too of like, let's let the kids watch Saturday night's main event. Let's introduce them to wrestling on a Saturday night. And I thought this was a very good show, top to bottom, hot crowd at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York. The very site of the very first Saturday night's main event way back when, nearly 40 years ago. And I love the retro touch to everything, the old school ramp, the old school ropes, the old school graphics, and the referees wearing the old school gear too, which was nice to see alongside the body. Jesse the Body Ventura back on commentary where he belongs in WWE, providing so much spice and flavor on commentary during the main event.
Yeah, I thought he was great. You gotta attack the leg. Talking about the main event, Cody, he was great. I just simple. You gotta go. What is he waiting for? Go after him. Get him. I thought his energy was great. You could tell he was excited, which makes everything else feel. It just feels better when the person who's involved is excited. So, yeah, like I said, I thought everything about this really came off really well. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes, which is in about a month's time on NBC right before the Royal Rumble. So the time is going to be very interesting in terms of what we're going to get for Saturday night's main event part 2. But let's dive into tonight's Saturday night's main event as we kick things off with Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre is on a renewed mission as of late to take out every member of the bloodline one-on-one. It began nearly 2 weeks ago when he blindsided Jey Uso in an attack backstage on Monday Night Raw. He did the same thing to Sami Zayn at the end of Monday Night Raw nearly 2 weeks ago as well. And then he turned around and took out Jimmy Uso on SmackDown last night. So one by one, each member of the original bloodline must fall. And we presume the last man standing in his path will be Roman Reigns. And that could very well be a WrestleMania match, potentially.
I mean, been there, done that. And specifically with Roman as a babyface at WrestleMania, I don't know. I would feel a little disappointed for both of them if that was the case. I mean, not for Drew, but I guess maybe for Roman. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong because let me tell you something. You have definitely you've been on one with your picks. I'm surprised you haven't taken that to the lottery the way you've been picking some of these things. But I don't know. I hope that's not the case. This match I thought was really good. Good way to start the show. You got your ultra heel and Drew and the bully heel and Drew, and then you got your uber babyface and Sami. I thought the match was really good. Good way to start the show. Crowd was really into it, and the right guy went over. So good way to start the show. And I wouldn't be opposed to this as far as kind of a roadblock to a WrestleMania match or something like that. I'd be okay with that. But I don't know if I want that as far as the the match for him at WrestleMania. But we'll see what happens. If it does happen, at least we'll know we'll have a great match.
Yes, for sure. And I like this match a lot as well. Lots of good action throughout, physical, near fall. Sammy could have had to win a couple of times, but I kind of had a feeling that Drew was going to win in his road to getting to Roman Reigns. Will it be for WrestleMania? That's my prediction. And even though Scott might have his reservations about this match, we got to remember 2019 was a long time ago, and this is a completely different Roman Reigns. This is a completely different Drew McIntyre. This isn't even the same Drew McIntyre that fought Roman Reigns at Survivor Series a few years ago. So this is a completely different guy that is going to bring a completely different new energy to this feud. He's much better as a promo. Roman is light years ahead of where he was back in 2019. So you can run it back at a WrestleMania and it will be more believable. And you have some meat on the bone as to why Drew McIntyre is now on this new mission, because at least with CM Punk, he knows he's a hypocrite by nature. He sold out for a championship shot down the road. So he has no beef with him anymore, but it's the bloodline he has issues with who caused his life to be miserable for years at a time. So I understand the motivation, and I was going to just take out each guy one by one to get to Roman, because in all honesty, Solo and Roman is not the WrestleMania match. It isn't at this point. Let them fight for the Ulafala on Netflix for the first Monday Night Raw of the year. Get it out the way. Just crown the tribal chief, be done with it. And it's very possible that Drew costs Roman this match again, and then Solo's the tribal chief indefinitely, for all I know. So we'll see about that. But there are layers here that make sense. I'm not opposed to this matchup if it's happening at WrestleMania, because honestly speaking, I don't know if there's enough juice for Roman and Solo at WrestleMania at this point. I think that Drew and Roman is the more attractive match as we wait for Rock versus Roman possibly at next year's WrestleMania.
See, I think at WrestleMania we're getting the trilogy. I think we might get Roman Cody again. And then night after is when CM Punk cashes in his favor with Paul Heyman when Roman becomes champion. That's kind of where I'm at. But like I said, the smart money would be to go with what you got instead of what I'm working with.
All right. Well, we'll see who's right in 5 months. Whatever the match at WrestleMania is going to be, it's going to be good regardless of who's going to be out there. So we shall see. I do have my eyes on that. It's very interesting how they're circling back to this rivalry now, and how there's another guy that's got unlimited lifetime beef with the bloodline. It's Kevin Owens first, and now it's apparently Drew McIntyre as well. And the motivation, for all intents and purposes, is valid despite the heel turn of it all. As we get to our second match on the card, which is Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Now, we kind of thought that it would go one way, but this match completely swung in a different direction, with Liv Morgan beating Io Sky clean with the Oblivion to retain the championship. I thought this was a good match. Was given about 7 to 8 minutes, and they were given their time to shine, which I liked. And Liv winning clean was necessary at this stage in the game. She ate a brutal knee strike by Io towards the end of this match, possibly broke her nose. Would not surprise me if she got a little rocked in the head as well, but she did what she needed to do to get the victory clean to retain her championship.
I know Io Sky is absolutely a miracle worker and is one of the best in the game, period, no matter where you put her. But Liv Morgan absolutely holds her own no matter who she's in the ring with. And, I think the allegations of her not being a good wrestler, those should be put to bed. I thought this was a really good match, good follow-up, good way to build off the crowd you already had. And it felt like you could have had a title change. When Io went for that moonsault at the end, right before Liv got the boot up, before she hit the Oblivion, which was a really nice sequence right there at the end. But when she went for that moonsault, I thought that could be the finish. When she got the knee, and I was like, hey, this is believable right here. I mean, she got rocked. So I thought the match was really strong, really nice finish. And everything was really good until Rhea Ripley came out. I was just like, man, we gotta move on. We gotta switch brands. We gotta do something. But this right here is not it as far as Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan round 75. We gave the Bloodline and Paul Heyman a hard time for talking about being in the third inning. Well, god daggone, we have been in the fourth inning with Rhea and Liv for this whole 2024. Can we at least get to the seventh inning stretch in 2025 when it comes to Rhea and Liv?
You're preaching a word. Shout out to Debbie, who says that she been shy now and the match was won clean. Yes, this is really the year of not Rhea Ripley, because now Scott has her on my mind as she came out there. This has been the year of Liv Morgan coming into her own as a character and a performer. The wild allegations that Liv is not a good worker, excuse me, like where is that coming from? The internet is very interesting with the takes, and you have to take into account who is talking spicy. It's stan accounts. I get it. You have your faves and you have things to say, but let's not do that, because Liv's work speaks for itself. She goes in the lab, she puts in the work, and she never misses in the ring. The problem is the booking. We look at Paul Levesque and we see that at the beginning of this year, Liv and Rhea was a really good feud, and then it plateaued over the summer. Heading into the fall, it jumped the shark, and it was time to basically call it quits. I get that completely. And I'm with Scott. When Rhea came out there, I'm like, gosh, here we go again. Like, we need to end this January 6th. We really need to end this probably around the Royal Rumble. We need this to be over with heading into WrestleMania, to be plain and simple. This needs to be the last chapter of this story at long last. I love this feud earlier this year. I have receipts saying that, but at the same time, we've run its course, and Liv deserves fresh competition away from Rhea Ripley. It was refreshing to see Liv in a match where there was zero interference. She won clean, and it was against Io Sky, who's one of the very best in WWE. And even she had an off night by slipping on the ropes. You know what Liv did? Didn't miss a beat. Hit a cold breaker out of nowhere to just keep the flow of the match going. That's the mark of a true veteran and professional out there that's not going to just go out there and glitch. So hopefully, as we head towards the end of this year, we can put Rhea and Liv to bed. I am done. I am tired. I love both ladies, but I am so tired of this feud. I truly am.
Yeah. I mean, what more needs to be said? We both went on our little diatribes about this feud. But here's to Charlotte, Becky, and hell, even Alexa Bliss at this point. Any one of them coming back and going after Liv Morgan. So at least we have some options here in the future. And let's not be afraid to let Lyra get a shot again. Let's not be afraid to do some things here. Especially, Liv can go in the ring. Let's mix it up a little bit. Okay. Rhea can come back and do this anytime she wants. She doesn't need to be bullying people out of the spot.
Yes, let's be done. I'm ready to see Charlotte, bring back Becky. Hell, as Scott said, bring back Alexa. We ain't seen her in over a year. She's a new mom. She's about ready to come back. Let's bring her back in the fold. Let's do that. Fresh faces, fresh competition. Let's do it. NXT call-ups. That season is upon us as well. So there'll be a nice reset heading into next year. As Debbie also says, Liv and Rhea need to be separated. Love both of them, but the feud has been drowned out. Yes, it has. It's time to move on. Dan also states he's sort of surprised that we didn't see Becky return tonight after Liv won to start that up. Big enough show to do it. I do agree, but they're saving it for January 6th. Netflix. Monday Night Raw, that premiere is going to be a big night of returns. And I imagine Becky Lynch is going to be a big return, but I also want this to be short-lived. I want Becky also away from Liv Morgan. Now, granted, she has a reason to go after her because Liv said she retired Becky earlier this year. I get it, but I want fresh opponents for Liv, fresh faces we have not seen. Becky's not a fresh face. And one of the things I want for Becky to do in 2025 is just have feuds away from the championship. Be like the guys. Tell layered stories that way, not involving a championship. That's the next Paul Levesque test, that you have to tell stories beyond these titles, which is perfectly fine. Build beef organically, and you have a winner of a division heading into next year.
Yeah, I would even go as far as to do that with Charlotte Flair, at least initially. And a return, especially when you have both of those returns coming up. Man, I would throw everybody off and have one return. We know Becky Lynch is coming back, so have her that return happen. And then before she even gets to say a word, Charlotte Flair returns and interrupts her and walks right down to the ring. Very similar to Triple H when he made his big return, and then Undertaker interrupted. Or I'm sorry, vice versa. When Undertaker made his return, and then Triple H interrupted him, and they didn't even say a word in the crowd. I guarantee if that happened, you have those two ladies just coming face to face, and Becky like, yo, the nerve of you to interrupt me in my return. They don't need a title. Everything is said right there. They don't even need a microphone. I think you're spot on. You keep them away from the title initially. Let Liv have another nice title defense at the Royal Rumble, since we're going to keep the title on her. Let Liv beat Rhea Ripley on the Netflix debut on that same episode. Let's get that out the way. Have her have a nice defense at the Rumble. Now we've built a little bit more credibility with the title. We've kept Becky and Charlotte away from the title and the feuds, something different. Now they're ready to go after it. So, yeah, I'm with that.
All right, love that as well. And as Debbie also notes, shout out to Debbie, Charlotte and Liv would be different. Sign me up. It would be different. And they teased us years ago on SmackDown when Liv was going through her initial transformation, when she was going from the punker to where she is now in 2024, heading into the new year as well. They can circle back because now they're two completely different women at different levels in their careers as well. So I would love for that to be revisited. I love what they did, and now they've evolved even more since then. So run it back, and that'll be a fresh matchup heading into next year as well. That's all we're saying. Fresh matchups, things we have not seen in a long time, if ever. And I'm here for that too. So let's just bring some variety for Liv as she continues to run as champion, which could cross the year mark when it's all said and done. And it's deserved, but just need fresh opponents and feuds heading into next year. As we get to our next match, and my personal favorite of the night, it was for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was the champion Gunther versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Now, Finn Balor, he has very unique headgear. That's all I'm going to say. You know, that's all I'm going to say.
Well, he doesn't have a cameraman anymore. So, and to be fair, the other person's in the ring with him. So it was kind of like, let me wear this mask. Let me see if it brings any postpartum attack to, post attack. So here we go. Great match. Good triple threat. And I thought they did a good job of having Damian Priest just look dominant throughout. I thought he looked really good. Finn Balor had his moments, and then Gunther just decided to hoss Damian and end the match 1, 2, 3. Dominant win, decisive, kept it moving.
Save that powerbomb spot on the outside with the powerbomb on the steps to Priest as he got Finn in the end with the drop kick and the powerbomb. I love the match. Damian Priest just sets the tempo so beautifully with his physicality that he can chop Gunther really, really hard. And very few people can do that. And Gunther took every shot. Finn has been great. Like, granted, you know how I feel about the character. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite, talking about no leaders in Judgment Day. It is notable that he was not with Liv, Dirty Dom, and Raquel. He was kind of walking with JD backstage at the very top of the show. So there was a little Judgment Day separation, which is interesting, as he is basically calling himself the de facto leader without saying as much, but he is. But I thought he did a very good job in this match. I do wonder where he goes from here, because we know he has a tag team title match against the War Raiders on Monday Night Raw. Could be a title change, not sure with that exactly, but he's been really good in the ring as of late. Damian Priest is great, and he continues to be pushed and not losing too much despite not being the champion right now. And Gunther definitely got things back on track with a very dominant and decisive win. And I hope this is the end of him not having confidence as champion, not being able to really, find his way as champ as of late, because he lost to Cody at Crown Jewel a month or so ago, and his toughness has been called into question by Damian Priest. Hopefully that has been deaded at this point in the game. But overall, very good match, and Gunther is still the champion.
Don't be surprised if Damian Priest comes out and says, you didn't pin me and you still haven't proven you can beat me. And that's one of your matches you go on your Netflix debut.
Most definitely. All right. As we move on to our next match on the card, it was to determine the inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion. It was Michin versus Chelsea Green. Now, I've been talking up Chelsea Green for a very long time on this show, and I thought it would be time for her to win something major, whether it was Miss Money in the Bank, whether it was the Women's Championship at some point, but she finally won the big one. She is the first women's U.S. champion. The fans love Chelsea. The momentum has grown a lot in the last few weeks, or really the last few months, honestly, because hard work pays off. Character work goes a long way. And her second run in WWE has proven to be a great one. One of the best rehires that Paul Levesque has done was giving Chelsea Green a second chance. She's overcome so much, broke wrists repeatedly, getting released, getting rehired, finding her footing, and just embracing this character and all the craziness that comes with it, putting her body through the absolute most for the love of the game. Michin, I will say as well, has had a very good 2024. Her resurgence has been nice to see, and another key rehire by Paul Levesque as well. Two deserving ladies in this spot, and Chelsea Green definitely deserved the win. Love the finisher. That was a very nice and prettier to capture the victory to become the first Women's United States Champion in WWE.
Yeah, fans were clearly behind Chelsea the entire time, and you could tell after she won, she wanted to just let her emotions out, but she contained it and kept it just enough in character. But big moment for her. I'm not quite as high on Michin. She don't really do it. I think Tiffany would have been perfect in this spot, especially as a heel, and the way the crowd was already going with Chelsea. Again, that doesn't take anything away from what Michin's done. She has had a good year. She's put on some some really good TV matches as well. Very reliable. So I can definitely see why she was put in this spot. But again, match was really good. Like you said, that finisher spot was excellent. The crowd came alive for it and reacted accordingly to the finish. Very strong match and pretty clean, relatively clean, I should say. The counter, I know we came off a little bit of a distraction, but she still was able to get the slap, then the counter, then the finish. So good win for her. I don't even care if she loses it this Monday or next week. But she got her big moment. Great win for her. And she will always be the first U.S. champion.
She will. Now, she will not lose the title Monday or Friday. It's not
she
gonna...
might.
Nah.
She is she is akin to a writer.
She is.
And he's known to do that.
Yes. Now, thankfully, spoilers have already been handled for SmackDown. That's a straight up impossibility for her to get whitered her first weekend as champion. So she's good. I hope that there are no Monday Night Raw shenanigans, because that breaks the rules. Technically, we have an ongoing tournament for the IC championship for the ladies. So I think that Chelsea will survive Christmas and New Year's as the champion. Beyond that, I don't know. But forever, how long this may be for her, I want her to enjoy it. I did laugh at Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis saying, God help us, because we're never going to hear the end of this. She's going to be doing the absolute most. I want the most outlandish championship celebration ever. I want the best for Chelsea Green. I truly do. And Piper was causing trouble, but she did not really play into the finish of this match. She won pretty cleanly, but I am all for Chelsea. I love her. She is one of the very best in this business in terms of character work, and she's really embraced everything that's been given to her. And she tried really hard not to let her emotions flow. She held it in. I'm sure she let it out backstage, but she maintained the heel aura, which was necessary to get through this segment. But overall, Chelsea Green, fantastic. Congrats to her. Debbie says kind words about the match, as well as Dan, saying that Chelsea is a national treasure. Yes, she is. And then Debbie's going to counter you, Scott, because you're dead wrong, saying, I don't doubt Chelsea. Don't doubt Chelsea. Give her at least a month. Let her enjoy this. Yes, he is trying it. He's basically trying to write her this week. Do not do that.
He's trying to write her. That's not bad. Listen, because you're right. There is spoilers out, so it is technically impossible, but it's not impossible because I mean, it could be a Friday type deal, and she get fired on her day off. You never know what could happen.
God! Oh my
I'm
God!
just saying. Listen, you never know. We could have a smoky situation. You never know what could happen. But I will say, I give her 2 weeks. I give her a paycheck period.
Wow.
Listen, Zach lost his the night after. I'll give Chelsea a couple weeks.
I cannot believe you're using the pay period. You're taking the ADP approach to this.
Oh my God, ADP.
Yes, you're taking the ADP approach of when you approve the time card week 2, and then the manager Paul Levesque approves it and then says, well, you know what? This is a nice run for you, Chelsea, but time to yank that title from you. So we let the 2-week pay period cycle out, and then ADP will put their stamp on things.
Becky Lynch about to hit Chelsea Green with that Bianca Belair special.
No, that'd be so cruel. That return and then says, hey, I want a title match. I'm not warmed up, but actually I am. And then hit one move and then she wins. I think that Chelsea will have a nice run for at least a month or 2. I would be fair and decent in that regard. I do predict that an NXT call-up will win this championship, though. I don't know who, but I do predict that heading into next year.
Okay. All right. I like that prediction.
All right. So congratulations to Chelsea Green. And I do love the history that Michael Cole spoke of. Like her first match was like 7 years ago to the day of this. And it was against Michin, both former Knockouts champions. So I like that little play into history there. And their come up story from both being released around this time 2 years ago to both being back in WWE. And this position is quite remarkable, I must say. Nice full circle moment for both ladies. As Dan circles back to say, I just hope Tiffy doesn't cash in on this title. I'm afraid a WWE move there. No, she won't cash in on this title. In fact, Scott's prediction of a Nia Jax face turn is becoming better by the day. Tiffy Time will be a babyface, and she will cash in on Nia. It's happening. I see it. When Tiffany at the sad face after Candace says that singles wrestling is just not your speed. Yeah, I kind of knew where we were going here, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm here for babyface Tiffy Time.
Yeah, I think she'll be a good babyface. It looks like I'm not gonna be right about that one. Nia won't be babyfacing anything anytime soon. Looks like she got her new small and Candice LeRae, the speed champion. Shout out to 3 minutes. And so that's what we got to look forward to. But no, Tiffy Time as a babyface is going to work because the crowd is fully behind her. I hope they don't change anything about her. They just let her be her and let her just continue to do what she does.
Exactly. Don't mess with the formula. It works just fine as is. And she's got to be a babyface. Just embrace that and she'll be good to go. So all in all, that is a preview for down the road. So there will not be a secondary cash in of a championship with that briefcase. Tiffany will go for the women's championship between now and I predict probably WrestleMania time. I don't see her holding it for a full year, but we'll be close enough to it, which I like to see because for the longest time, the women's Money in the Bank winners cashing within like the same night, within days. I like the slow burn approach to make this cash in count, and it will in due time. As we now get to the main event of Saturday night's main event, it was the undisputed WWE Championship match between the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And for one night only, we got the return of a legendary championship belt in WWE lore and history. Cody wanted this for such a very long time. Triple H had this in a very special case and told Cody for one night, you will hold this championship. You will wear it proudly around your waist. And it was the old school classic Winged Eagle WWE Championship belt. I must say, it looked gorgeous.
Look good. My question is, if Kevin Owens would have won, was Triple H gonna be like, all right, dude, got to give the belt back? What if KO would have been like, nah, I'm gonna just keep this one. I'm good on. You go ahead and keep that. Keep the new one. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna just rock with this one for a little bit. Like, what would he have done then? But now it was a cool moment, nice little nostalgic moment for Saturday night's main event, and I hope we do get more of a. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing back some more classic looks mixed in with some of the modern looks. I wouldn't be opposed to doing this more often, or kind of making this the theme of title matches on Saturday night's main event. If we do a world heavyweight title, well, I guess we already did it, but it would have been cool if they had brought out the old world heavyweight title for that match. That'd have been a cool theme you could have had for Saturday night's main event, but guess can't do that because we had 3 title matches. They only did it for one. That idea is dead.
It would be a bit repetitive doing old school belts for every match. But I totally get what you're saying. It would have been cool, And I know the WWE is all about their branding. I get it. The big WWE logo, you got to sell it to the major league sports teams. I get it. But there's something about that classic Winged Eagle belt that's just so gorgeous that I do wish they would bring it back. It's a different looking classic belt that would sell. I know it's about branding. I get it. I get the W. I get it. But that belt on Cody, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, we're talking about nostalgic belts and stuff. Like, just imagine Chelsea Green with the United States spinner belt. It'd have been incredible.
Dude, no, pause. That belt was ugly.
Oh, it'd have been great. She'd have been great. Spinning that thing as she looked at it. Oh, it'd have been fantastic. I'd have been here for it. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and we can bring back the 24/7 title.
No, we're good.
Just have that going all night on Saturday night's main event.
No, we're good. We're good.
I'm with it.
We're good. I'm glad that belt's retired. One of Paul Levesque's better business decisions was retiring that belt as soon as he got into Power Leg. What we're not going to do is this anymore. And then Dana was like mad. Like, I'm sorry, girl. Like, that was your only claim to fame in WWE was that belt. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry. My apologies to you. But in all seriousness, no, actually, not in all seriousness. As I look back on John Cena's time in WWE, and that's my dude, those spinner belts in hindsight were hideous. They were ugly. They were really ugly. As I've grown older, I've realized, God, they were tacky.
I hated the Edge one, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Maybe it's because that was just my era. Like, that was my, like, when I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed him with the WWE title with the spinner. I know that's not gonna be a popular opinion. I thoroughly enjoyed that title and just watching him spin it and watching how, like, you could tell how disgusted the old heads would get. I don't know. I was kind of with that. I kind of rocked with it.
At the time, I did. But as I've watched his matches back from the past, and as I see him with that championship, I'm like, ew. And then when I see people like Triple H hold the belt that doesn't spin anymore, it's like, how can I take it seriously? I cannot. For the
Now that I'll
time.
give you. They
Yeah.
definitely should have when he lost it, it should have
Yes.
went to I 100% agree with you that should have just been a John Cena special. But
Yes.
I guess it just sold so well. But yeah, that should have just been a John Cena special.
Yes. When it stuck around for everyone else to hold the title, that became an issue for me because the belt had to stop spinning. It was stuck. It was ugly. It was gaudy. It was.
The glue got old.
The glue got old and rusty. It just stopped working. I hated it. So yeah, it should have been a John Cena special only for him, and then bring back the other title for the champions. It had the one that other person had back in 2002. Won't name him, but that was like the classic modern day winged eagle that was really cute. And they could have brought that out for the other champions and not for John Cena, but that's neither here nor there. As Dan has a very important life question. Can we get the hardcore title back too?
Listen, you messing around, Candice LeRae gonna be a double champion. You bring back the hardcore title while we playing. Y'all keep playing with her. She gonna mess around and get all these little belts y'all bringing back because that's right up her alley.
Yes. For those that don't know Candace's catalog,
Hey, y'all think I'm being facetious if you want to. Sleep on it if you want to.
look at the tapes, go on YouTube, find footage. Candace is a low key, actually a high key hardcore match specialist. Run the tapes.
Yeah.
Run the tapes.
Hey, y'all, because y'all think it's a game when it comes to her. Y'all sleep on her if you want to. Y'all think she in these 3-minute sprints that she can't hold it down, getting thrown through a chair head first. Y'all play games if you want to. Play games if you want to.
Yes.
She'll turn into a horror villain real quick.
Real quick. I mean, crimson red blood everywhere. Like, y'all roll the tapes on Candice LeRae. The resume speaks for itself. That's all I got to say. She slept on in WWE. And I'm glad that she is getting a push now with Nia Jax to be that annoying little sidekick heifer, which I love. I love it. So I just want her to get her propers and get an opportunity to really showcase how great she is, because she is exceptional at what she does. Very underrated. And Dan has another question. What do you think about the number of commercials during the show on NBC? Did it ruin the flow? I would say no. This was a special that happened to be on broadcast television. Commercials are expected. I thought they were spread out in a good way. It didn't detract from the action. We didn't have multiple breaks in between matches. You got one break, match came back, didn't hurt the flow at all. I thought for what they did was a nice flow versus what you would see on Monday Night Raw, which would be multiple commercials in between segments. That is a lot. On NBC, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they did a good job of spreading it out, doing a good job with the flow, making sure you get a good amount of match before they did cut to any. So yeah, I didn't think it hurt the flow for me personally.
No, same for me as well. As for the match itself, I thought this match was very good. Jesse the Body Ventura was fantastic. I did laugh before the main event that he was trying to tell Michael and Pat like he was wearing Damian, and they didn't get it at first. And Pat McAfee's like, Damian, who's Damian? Like the snake that Jake the Snake had. Like you said, I killed him in his sleep and I skinned his ass and I wore him tonight. Like, y'all don't get the joke. Like, I got it. And I wasn't even like born for a lot of this. I was a wee little thing, but I know Damian. I know about that snake.
Yeah, that's before my time. But because I'm gonna be honest with you, when you started talking about Damon, I immediately go to the little child, that little dastardly child. Immediately, the little devil. I go to him. So yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't get it. I was kind of like, word, that's an old head for you. He just talking just to be talking. That's cool. So sometimes old heads just be saying stuff and you're just like, yeah, all right, cool. And other people are like, yeah, hey, you better pay attention to him. You know what he's talking about. Hey, he a wise man. So I just thought it was one of those type things. But at least you explained it to me. At least he wasn't just talking reckless. He actually was coherently speaking because he was real good, like you said. I just thought he was getting some old man stuff out the way.
It was, but it was like relevant for his own time, and I understood it. Like I said, I was not born for a lot of it. I was a little bit. Oh, is Scott okay? Is he okay?
Yeah, because he was like, I was not born. Don't worry, that's not my age bracket.
It's not.
It's just the way you was like, hey, and I was not born. Let me just throw that out there.
I just want to clarify. I
Right,
was not
right,
born.
no doubt.
Okay, I was in the womb. I was an
It's just the way
embryo.
you said that.
I was an egg, honestly, but I know the lore of Damian.
Yeah,
Like I know who the snake is. I know what he did. He did a lot of shit. He did. He terrorized Macho Man Randy Savage, okay? He traumatized Miss Elizabeth. Damian was a cold-hearted snake, and I'm glad that Jesse the Body took care of that in 2024, skinned him and wore him. Michael and Pat was in confusion, but I knew what he was saying, even though I wasn't alive for some of it.
Yeah, I don't know if getting Peter to come after you for an NBC special is the way to start off this relationship, but you do you.
You do you. You do you. You do what you got to do. And his 5 boas was on point too. 5. Where you find 5 boas at? For real.
Okay. Peter is listening. Like they watching the show. WWF is watching the show.
Not WWF.
Okay.
Not the panda people.
Hey, all animal wildlife has band together because they like, hey, listen, they tried to take our name. They don't care about pandas. They tried to take our name. Listen, they are all in cahoots. You better stop playing with these animal people.
The panda people was watching the logos very carefully. There better not be F on there.
Better
not be an F on there.
It was like, oh, y'all going nostalgic route? Oh yeah. Hey, somebody watch that for me. Y'all just let me know what y'all see.
Make sure don't throw an F up there with the W and the W. Just clarify. Panda people be on watch. There's only one WWF, and it's the World Wildlife Fund. What about it? Had him made the company change their whole name. I know that's right, pandas. Handle your business. But anyway, back to the match itself. Very good. I enjoyed it. The story of the match was Cody selling the ankle injury that Chad exploited a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, and Kevin stumped out this past Friday as well, as he was holding the championship, which is a very jinxy thing to do, in all honesty. So the match itself was very good. Cody was working his ass off. The super cutter for the near fall was sweet. And then towards the end of this match, we got multiple referee bumps, which was a bit excessive. Lil Nate took a bump. The other dude took a bump. And then technically, Kevin won the match with a stunner. But Lil Nate was knocked out, couldn't roll up to get the count. Then the other referee comes in there and he's a little bit too late. Then Cody wipes him out. So it's a big old mess. And then Kevin tries to use a steel chair to his advantage to win the match. Cody says, nah. And then he hits another cutter. And then he hits the crossroads on Kevin on top of the steel chair. And then Lil Nate, who is too tired to get back in the ring to make the count, is going to stand on the floor and hit his hand on the mat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Cody retains for one night only the Winged Eagle WWE Championship. Curious finish, fun match. But for those of you who have been checking out social media, we had some after match shenanigans, which we'll get to in just a moment.
Well, I guess I should have been on social media. I had kids to put to bed. So the match was really good. The finish, I just not a fan of it. I don't see the reason to give Kevin the visual pin. I don't see the reason to do that. I don't know. Wasn't a fan of it, especially if you're going to give him the out of him taking the chair, the crossroads on the chair. You're going to give him that, taking multiple top rope cutters. Like, that's plenty. I don't think he needs that visual. I don't think Cody needs to take the visual pin. If he's going to take the pin, let him just take the pin. That's just me. The match was great. I don't like that. We talked about the commercials. This actually brought up a commercial I did not like. Did not like them taking a commercial during Kevin Owens' entrance. I thought they kind of gave away the finish a little bit. Like, you're not going to do that for the guy you're building as your next champion. So I thought that was a little mistimed. I would have did it before Kevin Owens' entrance. Would have went into Cody Rhodes' entrance, and maybe would have did a picture-in-picture while she's doing introductions or something like that. But definitely didn't like that commercial break. But again, the match was fine. Not fine. The match was really, really good. Strong main event for a Saturday night's main event. I just didn't like the finish, and I didn't like Kevin Owens getting a visual pin on Cody Rhodes when, like, he didn't need it, didn't need to happen, didn't need that type of protection when you're losing to the number one guy in the company. You can take that loss cleanly. And I thought they did more than enough afterwards anyway, where he didn't need that.
Yeah, I agree. The visual pinfall was a bit much for me, honestly. Like, why do it? If you want to make a statement on this show, as we said, be a little bold and have Kevin beat him. If that's what you really want to do, just do it. Don't give us the visual, oh, he could have done it if Charles Robinson wasn't knocked out. Well, don't knock him out then. Pin him. Shock the world. Make this event impactful. But instead, we say, oh, he could have did it if somebody was woke up like, kind of takes away from it. I also agree with the fact that we went to commercial before both ring introductions were done. Kind of telegraphs to finish that way as well. Then we had one picture-in-picture, which was for the main event, which was a nice touch. It was alright, but like, hey, it's kind of a wash at this point. After going 90 minutes without a picture-in-picture, let's do it at the very end of the special. But hey, it is what it is. But the finish, it left a lot to be desired. It was very WWE overbooking 101, trying to protect Kevin to what end. And then after the show was over, and I think they'll probably release the footage on social media or wait until SmackDown on Friday or maybe show the footage on Monday Night Raw, is that Kevin Owens attacked Cody Rhodes after the match was over and he hit the forbidden move in WWE, a power driver. And Cody was stretchered out of the arena. And I guess we'll get updates on this condition later this week on WWE socials. But based on spoilers for SmackDown going down on USA this Friday, this will be addressed.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. You do all that, I would have just, okay, that's cool. We'll see what happens. I guess this will be a nice match for the SmackDown portion debut, the SmackDown debut. For Netflix week, the big debut week. I'm sure they're going to do something for SmackDown that week. So why not have Cody Rhodes face Kevin Owens in another title match? So I'm sure that's what they're going to build towards. But I just would have liked to see KO get the win, but it didn't happen. I don't mind the beatdown. Let Cody Rhodes have another obstacle to come over. Kevin Owens gets his heat back. He continues to be the unstable heel and build towards the big Randy Orton return where he takes out Kevin Owens and Cody goes to shake his hand and Randy Orton lays him out with an RKO as well before he holds up the WWE title.
Yes, I cannot wait to see that run for Randy at some point next year as well. It is notable that Cody did hit an RKO on Kevin Owens on top of the announce table at one point as well, as a homage to his good friend Randy. And I do believe that when Randy is cleared to come back storyline wise, he'll go after Kevin first. And then when Cody thinks it's all good, oh, my friend is back, my buddy, my pal, Randy will drop him too, because he's going to say, this is all your fault. And we've been looking for the Randy heel turn even before Kevin turned heel. So I think it's going to be very fitting when it happens, whenever it does. And that's what's very interesting about all of this heading into WrestleMania. It can go in a number of directions. If some things are not a sure thing in WWE in terms of who's available, you do have these really nice backup plans, like a Randy Orton versus Cody, like a Roman versus Drew McIntyre, as a way to build that bridge to what will be a very fun two-night WrestleMania in Las Vegas come April.
I mean, realistically, and if we're just keeping it a buck, like if you have a ton of worst case scenario matches if Cody Rhodes needed an opponent. You know, obviously, I think the number one match you could do is Cody versus The Rock. That doesn't happen. You could do Cody versus Roman. You don't want to do that. Cody versus CM Punk, I think, would be a big time matchup and could close a WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at this point is something different. It could absolutely be a backup plan to close a WrestleMania. And then Randy Orton, we just talked about the Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton match. Like that could absolutely be a WrestleMania match. So they've done a good job of giving you multiple paths. And even if these aren't WrestleMania matches, they've done a good job of just giving you multiple paths that you can go on the road to WrestleMania. For any other big time PLEs or any other specials, they're going to have other Saturday night's main events. Cody won't be on all of them, but when he does, there's multiple people that he could face. So I just think they've done a good job of intertwining Cody throughout a lot of these different stories. And Triple H, there's a lot he leaves to be desired with as far as the stories and keeping everything on pace. But one thing he does do as far as his top guys is he mixes them up among a lot of different top angles throughout everywhere. So that way, whenever he needs to draw something from here, draw something from there, there's already been a connection established. And I think he does a really good job of sprinkling Cody Rhodes a little bit everywhere so he can pull from it whenever he needs to.
Yes, very smart strategy. Love that as well. And you know what? We shall see. Any direction that WWE chooses to go into heading into the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania is going to be a good one. And we have forgotten another big name that is a WrestleMania possibility to be in a top tier match. It could be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Hey, I talked about, I was going in kind of a hierarchy, with Cody and Rock. John, especially this being the last run, him going after the record. Yeah, that's probably right there. I with Cody and Rock. So yeah, you're 100% right. And honestly, now that you bring it up and we're talking about it, and maybe that's the match, and maybe that's the way you go. Because I love the fact that we have all these different options because John Cena is 100% going after a world title, whether it's Gunther or Cody. And I think you go big or go home. I say you go with Cody.
I do. I like it. Possibilities are endless.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So we'll see how they play it with many months to go until WrestleMania. The direction isn't wrong, no matter what path you take, because you're going to have a superior main event one way or the other. Can't go wrong. You just take a roll of dice and see where it takes you. Take a gamble. Maybe use one of my lottery picks and see where it lands you heading into WrestleMania. Hit the jackpot, maybe,
Hey, you better use them before you start missing. All I'm saying is you better go cash in before you start getting them wrong.
Yes, because my streak will come to an end. One day I will go ice cold one day and my luck will run out. I'll be making some dumb predictions that make zero sense. And Scott will laugh at me. But for the time I was victorious and correct, I will relish in that forever because I've had a lot of wins this year, I must say. A lot of wins. Big wins.
You have been winning. And I've been disappearing like LeBron in the last week amid some Diddy allegations. So
Wow.
here we are. But
Wow.
I'm just saying, y'all think it's trade rumors. We know why you hiding, Bron. Come back to us, King. Don't let it be true.
Oh, wow.
Just
Wow.
saying, man.
Wow. What a way.
Shout out to the King.
Shout out to the King, who won't be a two-time NBA Cup champion. It will be either the Bucks or the Thunder.
He's waiting to see which one's going to go to the finals, and then he's going to get traded to one of them on Monday.
Well, you know what? He's trying to leverage his mathematics, and what he should do, honestly, is get traded to the Thunder because he won't have to do a whole lot of work.
He won't.
He won't.
Though I think the Bucks will work pretty well. He could just yell at Giannis and Dame. What are you doing? Go over there. Play defense. Come on, man.
LeBron will last one day on that team with those divas.
No, Giannis ain't. I don't think Giannis is a diva. Giannis is he's just like, yo, I got a high, I got a high expectation, and I ain't
He
going for that. I
does.
don't care who you are.
Well, listen,
And he said, listen,
LeBron.
that spot you got for Bronny, that's the NASA spot.
Oh, wow. Hey, listen, and he's been holding that spot for a very long time by doing absolutely nothing. But can I believe I'm about to say this? If I can deliver it properly.
Shout out to the Miz.
First of all, he wasn't even on the show. He's at home decorating his 12 Christmas trees with Maurice, Monroe, and Madison. First of all, just bring that man up for no reason. Yes, he won on Monday Night Raw. Yes, you won't drag him because of his association with Karrion Kross and because you're biased, but that's besides the point. But what I was about to say, which is very spicy of me, was the fact that I know that Giannis and LeBron do have one thing in common besides championships, and that is their ability to fire their coaches on a whim. Coach killers. That's what they are.
I mean, 4 rings later, five rings later, and 5 Finals MVPs later. I mean, I guess so.
Facts. You know I'm not lying.
I don't know anything. I just know. I don't know nothing. Shout out to David Blatt. Shout out to David Vogel. Maybe it's just people named David.
Frank Vogel, not
Vogel.
David.
It's not
Oh
David.
my, David Vogel. The levels of you trying it.
He might as well have been a David Vogel because that's what LeBron thought of him after. He was like, after he won the title, like, who? Frank who? You mean David?
Hey, that man won it in the bubble. He should be thankful.
Hardest championship in NBA history.
Yes, to win in the bubble. That is crazy.
Shout out to Rudy.
Shameful. And with that, it's now time to put a wrap on this week's episode of The Wrap right here, live on the Fight Game Media Network on YouTube. So I want to thank my co-captain, Perky Scott Young, for joining me live on YouTube to recap Saturday night's main event on NBC.
Yeah, well, technically we are the main event here on Saturday night, and that's how it should be. But again, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to chop it up and talk all things WWE. This was a really fun show. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and hope everyone has a great holiday.
Yes, enjoy the holiday season, guys. Our schedule might be a little bit chaotic for the next couple of weeks as we enter into the new year, but we know that a special occasion is upon us as we relive the best and worst moments for the year in WWE via our 3rd annual Wrap Awards. We are tabulating votes as we speak. We will get fan participation on these awards in the days to come as we get ready to record that special that will probably drop around the holiday season for your listening pleasure to close the year that was in WWE as we try to find the next recipient of one of the most prestigious honors one could possibly win, the Von Wagner Award of Excellence.
Yeah, I had quite a few awards already lined up, but you tried to sabotage Ren Sinclair. So you definitely tried to sabotage her chances of winning, bringing up some ponytail scandal. But it's all good. It's all good. You know, it is what it is. It's almost like figure skaters taking bats to kneecaps, but you know, it's all good.
I just want you to have the best available information. The best available information.
Well, you got it. Shout out to Ren.
Yes.
Don't whip your hair back and forth.
Now, I don't know if this happened, that KO fought Triple H. I don't know if that happened. Someone will provide footage of that on the nets soon, if that did in fact happen.
Nah, Listen, man, Triple H better stop playing. He know he ain't.
That man
He
can't
knows.
take a bump with no
Yeah,
pacemaker.
you know that heart ain't built for that no more.
No. He does not have a bionic heart. So stop it. Stop it. Please. But in any event,
hopefully it was all this.
Yes. Now, Air Ray says there's video online.
Love it. Shout out to you, Elroy. I'm glad you told me because I'm going to look at that soon as we get off of here.
Yes, I have to see it for myself. And then we report back and talk about it on the wrap on Wednesday, because we will be back talking about Monday Night Raw and NXT as we are putting a bow on the year that was for WWE very soon. But I do want to thank everybody that joined us on the chat tonight. Debbie, Dan, Elroy at the end, dropping some exclusive information about Triple H risking it all for the love of the game to get the storyline over. We'll talk about it later on this week on the wrap via our podcast that you can find on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But until then, that is a wrap for this live stream recapping the return of a classic standard in WWE Saturday night's main event. For myself and for Perky Scott Young, enjoy the week ahead for WWE. We'll be back Wednesday morning with a fresh episode of The Wrap talking about this angle that went down between Kevin and Cody and possibly Triple H as well, right here on the Fake ABD Network. Until then, take care, bye-bye, and happy holidays to you all.